Once again, the University of Connecticut women's basketball team gets a chance to advance in the tournament playing in their home state. We're here at the arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Second round action out of the East region between the Auburn Tigers and the two-time defending national champion Connecticut Huskies. Here's what's already happened in the East region. Penn State and Notre Dame in the early window tonight have already advanced, along with UC Santa Barbara with that home court to use, winning a couple of games. The winner of this game will advance along with those three to the regionals in Hartford, Connecticut. A look at our lineups tonight for the Auburn Tigers. A 20-point winner over NC State in round one. It was Natasha Brackett with a season-high 26 points, so keep an eye on her. Barbara Turner had 17 points all in the first half in UConn's 36-point win over Penn on Sunday night. As we bring Doris Burke in on the broadcast now, a look at our Star Watch.
Le'Coe Willingham will challenge Connecticut's interior defenders with a very physical and substantial frame and an ability to score around defenders. And Diana Taurasi had 13 days off entering the NCAA tournament. That ankle and that back appear to be fine after the rest. She was sensational against Penn.
And by the way, Diana Taurasi just today named the winner of the Naismith Award as the most outstanding player in women's college basketball. She's a repeat winner now, having won it the last 2 years. The Tigers, wearing visiting orange, control the opening tip.
Connecticut opens man-to-man. They did throw a little zone look at practice, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a little 1-2-2 at some point.
This is Brackett. She was the high scorer for them in game one and talked very confidently about playing UConn. She said, if we're going to advance as far as we want to advance, we're going to have to play them sometime, so why not now? Nicole Loudon, step back jumper, and the Tigers take the lead.
Loudon, a very offensive-minded point guard, did not see a tremendous amount of time in game one, but for her to hit that first shot, that confidence boost is huge.
Now Connecticut solving that zone very easily on their first trip down the floor as Barbara Turner ties the game.
Well, she got into the short corner behind the defenders. Auburn prides itself on taking away your best scorers, so they'll look to take away Diana Taurasi and Barbara Turner.
Like Connecticut, Auburn statistically one of the best defensive teams in the country and one of the best rebounding teams in the country. Mandisa Stevenson, who had a terrific game against North Carolina State on Sunday, knocks down the three for the Tigers.
I think she's an X-factor. 6'3" and long. I'm not sure Connecticut has a body that matches up because her foot speed incredible when she boards it.
She had 18 points, 10 rebounds on Sunday. Now Barbara Turner, and Doris, this is a repeat of Sunday. All Turner offensively in the early going for the Huskies.
Well, it's something you talked about Sunday night, the fact that Barbara Turner in Big East Conference play led this team in scoring. She is becoming more and more assertive.
Kick ball and a fresh 30 seconds put up on the shot clock right now for Auburn. Gino Auriemma, 4 national championships at UConn. The Jackets coming off early. I guess the earlier the jacket comes off, the more serious and competitive the coach thinks the game will be. Joe Ciampi, his Auburn career and elsewhere, better than 600 wins. He is 10th all-time in women's college basketball. Now a charge called on Natasha Brackett. A good job by Jessica Moore to draw it.
You know, Connecticut's sound team defense. Moore realizes the front line, gets beat, steps over. Might have been a step slow as you raise your eyebrows.
Yeah. She was still sliding to the left on that one, but the call goes Connecticut's way.
And look at this, a little different look than we saw the other night. They take a 1-3-1 approach, but then it looks like it backs right off.
And Strother knocks down the three. And Connecticut takes the lead.
Well, and I thought initial success against their defense was important. Auburn, according to Pat Summer, Joe Ciampi runs as fine a matchup zone as there is in the country.
Auburn 22-8 on the season. They come in here with solid credentials. All 8 of their losses were to teams playing in the NCAA tournament. And there's their best player, Le'Coe Willingham, unanimous first team All-SEC. And she's trouble inside as she ties the game. Conlon down to the baseline, now gets it back. Deep three by Taurasi. A little bit short, offensive rebound, Turner. Taurasi. Oh, a nice look inside for Moore, but Moore had turned, anticipating a shot. Two and a half minutes in, and we are tied at 7 here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Dan Shulman and Doris Burke with you. Second round action out of the East region. The two-time defending national champions trying to advance to the Sweet 16 for the 11th year in a row. Auburn standing in their way. Brackett, the lefty, launches a three. The second three that the Tigers have hit tonight, and they've got a 3-point lead.
Well, Connecticut came out of the man-to-man. They played through the first few minutes and went to a 1-2-2 zone. Brackett finding the open area.
Now Conlon, good three-point shooter. She ties it, and she's a big local favorite here, being from Derby, Connecticut.
Dan, they worked incredibly hard on their zone offenses and shot the lights out today at practice. You wondered they shot it so well. Would they come out and shoot it well tonight? Looks like it so far.
Brackett misses that three. Offensive rebound for Nancy Derrick. Auburn not looking intimidated or overwhelmed at all. Again, a team with better than 20 wins. They were ranked through most of the season. This is their first trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years. None of the players on the floor for Auburn played in the tournament until Sunday night when they beat NC State. Willingham was a freshman then. She's a fifth-year senior now, but she was hurt 4 years ago.
I don't think, Dan, this is a team that won 9 games in the SEC, and the SEC with the best record thus far in the NCAA tournament. They're not going to be intimidated.
Willingham steps in front of Moore. Nicely done as she comes up with a steal. This is Loudon, the feisty point guard out of Paterson, New Jersey, just a couple of hours south from here. She's got a lot of folks in the stands. I don't know if they're cheering out loud or keeping it to themselves in the midst of all this Husky blue and white.
Might be hard to distinguish.
Derrick driving on Strother. Stevenson. And the rebound for Strother. Better than 9,000 people. Another sellout here in this building tonight for the UConn women. Turner passed it up. Wide open look now for Strother. So far, Connecticut does not seem confused at all by this tricky matchup zone that the Tigers like to play.
No, and that last look was the 1-2-2 matchup zone, and where they'll attack is with Barbara Turner at the free throw line. She gets the cut, makes the pass opposite. Pretty offensive basketball. And
if Auburn's going to focus on Turner and Taurasi, that's going to leave someone like Strother open a lot. Lob inside for Willingham. It will stay with Auburn as we go to our first timeout. The offenses are clicking. Connecticut leading by 3 here in front of a capacity crowd in Bridgeport. Point you stop counting birthdays. I think Doris and I agree we're rapidly approaching that point. Don't know how Gino Auriemma feels about it, but today is his 50th birthday. That's probably the last thing on his mind right now. Dan Shulman, Doris Burke with you here in Bridgeport. Connecticut doing a nice job solving that zone so far.
Well, they really are, and two things that Auburn will do. They'll throw a 2-3 or a 1-2-2 look. In this particular instance, it's the 1-2-2 look. So what you're looking for is watch the free throw area. That's the cut they're looking for, Connecticut. They want to get the ball in there and then reverse to the open shooter. They stick the jumper, and it looks nice and easy early against the zone for Connecticut.
Meanwhile, Auburn answers back with a bucket right out of the inbounds play. So they are back within a point at 13-12. Conlon kicks it down in the corner to Taurasi. Great ball movement as we saw against Penn as well. Everybody gets a touch every time down the floor. Turner with a nice move inside.
Well, you know what I like most about that play? It got inside of 10, and their best one-on-one offensive player off the dribble is Barbara Turner. So as a sophomore, she didn't give the basketball up. She attacked on the baseline. Turner
now with 6, and UConn back in front by 3. Remember, the Huskies have advanced to the Sweet 16 each of the last 10 years. An amazing accomplishment, although Tennessee's got a run going more than twice that long.
It at one time was known as the Tennessee Invitational, this tournament, I think.
23 for 23. Taurasi knocks down the 3.
It's a real bounce to her step, and according to her teammates, more focused in practice.
Her first points of the game, and Joe Ciampi feels the need for a timeout.
Well, Barbara Turner, shot clock is inside of 10. Mandisa Stevenson steps up defensively. She loses that low base. Barbara Turner takes excellent advantage of it. And what you want against the zone is good ball movement. And as many times as you can reverse it, you're going to get uncontested shots. Joe Ciampi told us today, Dan, he said, Diana Taurasi will stretch our zone as much as any player we face.
A 40% shooter from three-point range on the season. Again, if you missed it right off the top of the show, Taurasi just today was named the Naismith Player of the Year for the 2nd year in a row. And you can see the hot shooting, especially for Connecticut so far. 7 for 8 overall. They've scored 18 points in just over 6 minutes.
There haven't been that many multiple winners of the Naismith Trophy. 5 in all, I believe. And Connecticut throwing its own little zone. 1-2-2. You see how tight it is, folks. Everybody inside the three-point line on the Connecticut defensive side.
Willingham hits a 3. Well, that's the center for Auburn, but she did make 4 in 13 attempts on the season, so she doesn't shoot them often, but it's something she's got in her arsenal. Now Strother tries to answer and does, and Ann Strother is off to a terrific start with 9 points already.
Now the Auburn staff said, listen, we are going to concede something. If you live by the 3, you can die by the 3, but Connecticut pretty efficient with it thus far.
A look inside for Willingham, and every time she gets a touch inside, she's going to get surrounded. It'll be Connecticut ball as we check out a pretty impressive list of players that Taurasi joined today.
Cheryl Miller at USC, Clarissa Davis, 87 and 89 in Texas. Dawn Staley, one of the most outstanding point guards to play the game, and Shamika Holtzclaw, unprecedented success in the NCAA tournament.
Wilnette Crockett has checked into the game and out for UConn at number 23. Again, Turner flashing up high. Now Crockett trying to back down Willingham. Jump hook, no. Offensive rebound, no. And a foul, no basket. There was a foul before Strother put that one back in.
Well, I think both of these teams coming into this basketball game wanted to see and test the outside shooting of the respective clubs. Well, thus far, look at this. Perimeter scoring's been pretty good. 24 points combined from the outside. Connecticut
is 5 for 6 from 3, and Auburn is 3 for 5 as Crockett steps to the line. The foul was on Mandisa Stevenson, her first.
Crockett, a dimension that Connecticut needs. She's a physical presence in the post. Her quickness inside, her ability to shake defenders, really impressing me over the last couple of weeks.
Now, UConn is talented and is deep, really, as any team around. All 12 players scored, and it got to the blowout stage in the second half against Penn, but Gino Auriemma can comfortably go 9 or 10 deep if he chooses to. Now Willingham off with that 3. The rebound to Strother, and UConn looks to push. Crockett wasn't sure that pass was for her. She actually reached out and then pulled her hands back. And that's the 3rd turnover committed by UConn. Still up by 7. Back here in Bridgeport, where Auburn trails Connecticut by 7. Auburn's unanimous first-team All-League player, Le'Coe Willingham, a 5th-year senior, a little bit more on her plate than even the typical student-athlete, because 3 years ago, she had a baby son, Derek, and has to juggle athletics, academics, and parenthood all at the same time.
Her day starts well before 7 a.m., up and dressed with the both of them, and she gets him on the bus to daycare, and then takes care of her academic and basketball responsibilities. That kind of schedule for a young woman that age. It's amazing she's been able to pull it off as brilliantly as she has.
Derek not here tonight, but we understand a fixture at home games, and I don't know if the 9 o'clock start works for him, if he's safely tucked into bed or if he's watching it back home. This is Willingham coming to help out as they inbound the ball. Connecticut with some pressure now. Loudon, nice look. And another good pass, this time from Brackett to Willingham. A terrific job by Auburn to break the press.
Yeah, really nice job by the point guard, Loudon. As soon as she got over half court, her head went up. She realized there was so much Connecticut pressure out front that somebody had to be open.
Willingham now with 9, and Auburn back within 5 of the Huskies. Taurasi, no one to pass to, misses the jumper. 3 Connecticut players are on the glass. Bringing down the rebound, it was Moore.
Against an Auburn team that is +10 on the rebounding numbers, you've got to be solid.
Ashley Battle, she gave them a real spark against Penn when she came in off the bench on Sunday. Taurasi, another 3.
As the defense gets tighter, she uses a screen, gets a little bit of space, and that's all it takes.
Unbelievable shooting by Connecticut tonight. 6 for 7 from beyond the arc.
Connecticut sticking with their zone, a little 1-2-2 look. This is a team that plays a lot of man-to-man.
Looking for Willingham inside. Shot clock at 4. Stevenson doesn't know it, and they won't get the shot off in time. Or are they going to count that? They should not count that. No, one of the officials signaled a 3, but fortunately for the correct call, he was overruled because that was about a half second after the buzzer. So a shot clock violation committed by the Tigers, and the ball will go back over to UConn for a turnover committed by Auburn.
This is still the 1-2-2 look, but here's the adjustment Auburn has made. They've taken a player, one of the posts, and they'll take away the free throw line if need be.
Here comes Crockett flashing to the high post. Now Taurasi feeling it. And we've got a foul underneath that's going to go against Auburn. Now, you talked about the rebounding, Doris, and how well Auburn rebounds the ball. Connecticut right on their heels, 2 of the 3 best rebounding teams in the country. And considering the level of competition, I think you could say these are the 2 best rebounding teams in the country.
And that foul must have gone against Connecticut.
Yeah, you're right. I think everybody on the floor thought it was against Auburn, but it went against Ashley Battle, her first.
Yeah, what you're seeing on that rebound margin we just showed you with Connecticut up 6-2, they're sending a lot of bodies to the glass. So you wonder if Auburn will test them and try to get out and run a bit.
Brackett splits the double team and puts up a tough shot. Good rebound by Moore. And now I believe Louise Amagi, who just checked into the game, one of the 2 Australian players on Auburn, she gets called for going over the back.
Excellent weak side checkout by Jessica Moore on that defensive possession. And Auburn, Joe Champion, interesting philosophy. Usually your coach will tell you box out, keep a body on. What he tells his players is hit and run. Put a body on, but then go pursue the basketball.
Auburn 1-3 all time against Connecticut. All of those games coming under Champion. One of them coming in the NCAA tournament 10 years ago when the Huskies eliminated the Tigers. Out of bounds to UConn.
That's why I think Barbara Turner is so critical for Gina Auriemma tonight. Her ability to slice through defenders, especially when she gets along the baseline side. Dribble penetration will kill a matchup zone.
Taurasi inbounds it to Strother deep in the corner. Strother's already got 3 threes. Shot clock at 3 seconds. And Strother having some kind of night. As a freshman last year, she made the Final 4 all-tournament team at 17 points in the championship game. She's already got 11 here tonight.
Yeah, she was outstanding against Tennessee. Hit big shots.
Loudon just can't see over Strother, and she turns it over. Battle did a great job using her body to shield Brackett away from the ball.
And how about the faith of your teammates? I just didn't think that they could match up speed-wise with Ashley Battle.
Now Ashley Battle off the bench for the 2nd game in a row. A tremendous spark. You talked about her on Sunday, Doris, saying that Gina Auriemma feels she's a very talented player, but kind of without a position. But when he puts her in there, she makes things happen.
I remember last season he talked an awful lot about getting her shots. Where was she most capable? In transition and defensively, she shoots the gap as well as any player in the country, with probably the exception of Elena Beard at Duke.
So the 2nd timeout called by Auburn already here in the first half, with UConn extending the lead. Now the last 2 years, as everybody knows, UConn won the national championship, only lost 1 game. This year, by their unbelievably high standards, they have had a relatively tough time. They lost 4 games, and Diana Taurasi says it is harder this year than last year because now everybody, more than any other team in America, everybody wants to get a shot at knocking UConn off the top of the mountain.
I think at times, there were times for his club that they reacted the way people thought they'd react a season ago. Look at this. This season 4, and it matches Diana and the other seniors total for the last 3 years. Incredible.
Brackett steps in, knocks it down. She is a confident performer, that's to be sure. We heard that in the press conference after Sunday night, and we see it on the floor here again tonight.
I love her game. I mean, she's just such a physical guard with the ability to go off the bounce or shoot the ball.
Stolen by Amagi. Auburn dresses only 9 players. They had a couple of players quit, a couple of players have academic problems. There's Stevenson knocking down a 3. So they only dress 9. They really only play 8, but they get a lot of mileage out of all of them. And Stevenson brings them back within 7.
I think Connecticut not willing to accept that Stevenson can stick that jumper on a consistent basis, but she looks very good.
Again, Connecticut moving the ball around quickly. Turner tried to find Taurasi in the corner. Auburn has made a couple of good defensive adjustments. Brackett on the drive. Back rim. Rebound Turner.
Oh, pretty drive. Everything but the finish.
That would have had him back within 5. Now Strother. She's already got 3 threes in this game. And UConn's already made 6. Turner has her blocked by Willingham.
Yeah, good solid defense. Barbara Turner usually comes away with some foul shots off that, but credit Le'Coe Willingham to keep her position without fouling.
The Auburn team a little displeased, Doris, with their seed before the tournament began. Didn't think they should be a 7. Didn't think they should have to play Connecticut in Connecticut. And they're looking like more than your typical 7, giving the Huskies a good battle here tonight. Grace, thank you very much. Here in Bridgeport, we've got Huskies of all shapes and sizes in this big crowd. A lot of folks driving from all over the state to root on their beloved women's team. UConn, by the way, in NCAA tournament games in the state of Connecticut is 25-3, and they've won the last 23 in a row. Now tonight at 11:30 Eastern time, it's men's NIT action as George Mason takes on the Oregon Ducks. Second round coverage of the NIT over on ESPN2.
Maybe your last chance to see Luke Jackson.
That's right. One of the best players in America, an All-American. Stolen by Brackett. Connecticut's had some turnover trouble the last few minutes, and that's allowed Auburn to stick in this game. Nice give and go. Amagi with the finish, and the Tigers back within 5.
Just a pretty pass by Payne and a nice cut by Amagi. You've got to be active against the zone without the basketball.
The Australian connection hooking up Payne to Amagi.
I think Connecticut's turnover sometimes, Dan, they're a function. This team tries to do things quickly offensively, sometimes too fast.
Moore looking for help. Shot clock down to 7. Crockett, baseline feed, Taurasi. Rebound, Stevenson.
Good defense. I thought Diana could have used a dribble, Dan. She gets a dribble to gather herself, then power up. It's an easy shot. Instead, it's a floater going away from the rim.
Natasha Brown now into the point for Auburn, wearing number 3. Now they close out on Stevenson, respecting her shot. Needs help and finds Brackett. Stevenson inside over Moore, way too strong. Out of bounds to UConn.
Yeah, Connecticut comes out of that zone. They stick a couple threes. Gino makes the adjustment, says, let's go man-to-man and be sure we've got our responsibilities set.
Well, I think Gino Auriemma knew this was going to be a much tougher game than they had on Sunday, and maybe a sign of things to come should UConn be able to advance. You can see they've gone cold recently. Maria Conlon changes all that.
Underrated. There were people early on questioning her ability to play in this program. She has been nothing but outstanding.
A 42% shooter from beyond the arc. Connecticut as a team shoots 39% on threes.
Yeah, Connecticut back to the 1-2-2 zone. So you wonder if they're going zone on makes, man on misses.
Tough catch down to the baseline for Brackett. Easy block inside on that scoop. Shot clock at 2. Brown forces it up, got rim, but the rebound for Taurasi. Connecticut with the ball by 8. And another turnover. That is the 7th committed by Connecticut. Well, for Maria Conlon, the best thing about her game is her three-point shooting. Just about all of her buckets this year have been threes.
She does a really nice job of finding open areas and playing off the people around her. She's smart enough to know Diana Taurasi is going to get an awful lot of attention, as is Barbara Turner. So let me just spot up depending on where they're located.
Reportedly had the whole team over for dinner last night on the off night, being a Connecticut native. And again, Maria Conlon, a player that not a whole lot was expected of her, at least in terms of being a starter. They've got Nicole Wolf, who's going through her 2nd consecutive year of injuries, as Amagi drills a 3. And the injuries to Wolf, really, Doris, would allow Conlon to get the playing time and make the most of it.
Yeah, when Nicole Wolf originally started as a freshman, it took Conlon until the injury.
Look at those numbers.
Yeah, pretty impressive, huh?
2 teams are 12 for 18 combined from beyond the arc.
Here's the overload against the zone.
Now Taurasi gets a wide open look. Can't give her that.
Yeah, they're making that zone change shapes. There's Nicole Wolf enjoying what she's seeing. They overload on one side, throw to Skip, and then on the reversal back, wide open shot. I mean, it's just good execution.
Taurasi's third three of the game and the 8th already for Connecticut. Amagi looking for Payne inside. Instead launches the shot. And good hustle. Conlon's going to want you to go out of bounds. Back over to UConn. As we step aside, they are lighting it up from outside tonight. Huskies lead by 8. Here in Bridgeport, Connecticut, where the Huskies are 8 for 10 from three-point range. Doris, how are they getting such good looks?
Well, the skip pass, and then watch this. Conlon, the other skip pass. Loudon gets hung up on the screen. Taurasi makes him pay. It's just hard to cover that much area.
8th turnover, though, committed by the Huskies. Brown and Loudon in the backcourt right now for the Tigers. Willingham working hard, trying to get open inside, being defended by Turner. Now Brown for 3. Offensive rebound. Amagi, the 10-footer, is there, and Amagi's giving them a real spark with 7 off the bench.
Yeah, typical of players outside of the United States. Very polished offensive player, Amagi. Excellent shooter.
She has already reached her scoring average on the season, and Auburn's hanging around back within 6. Turner on the drive.
I like that. And they worked hard on her at the free throw line, and either shooting that little jumper or using that one-on-one ability to challenge defenders.
And folks who may not watch that much women's basketball, Doris, who might be tuning in to see what UConn's all about, as Amagi drills another 3. We can see Auburn is certainly not a one-woman team, even though Willingham's their all-league performer. And for those maybe not all that familiar with Connecticut, but they might know the name Taurasi, there are other terrific players on this Connecticut team as well.
No, they really are. Turner and Strother are both exceptional. They're going to have to raise their level next season.
Barbara Turner from about 17 feet away. She's got 10.
There's just an air about her at this point in her career where I think she believes and is finally convinced she can score against anybody.
How about this balance? Strother with 11, Turner with 10, Taurasi with 9. Amagi, nice feed inside and an easy 2 for Willingham. You can see with her skill and the way her teammates find her why she shot so well during the season, 60% on the year.
Yeah, and Auburn's doing a nice job when they are aggressive offensively and get some movement and some cuts. They've been very solid.
Connecticut solving the zone more often through passing than off the dribble, although Turner's done it a couple of times, and here she goes again. Crockett is fouled. Coming up on our singular halftime report, Reese and the gang with look-ins at some of the other games going on tonight. Maryland LSU, Minnesota K-State, and a Michigan State in action against #1 Texas. Already in the East region tonight. Penn State advanced with a win over Virginia Tech. Notre Dame advanced with a win over Middle Tennessee State. So it'll be Penn State, Notre Dame, UC Santa Barbara, and the winner of this game in the regionals in Hartford next weekend.
Now, Penn State struggled in the first half of that basketball game, and a lot of people thought Penn State was all about Kelly Mazzanti. Well, Tanisha Wright is a very good basketball player, excellent off the dribble, outstanding defender. And Jess Strom, the point guard, in the best shape of her career. That's been a major component of their success.
That last foul on Natasha Brown, her first. 1 of 2 from the line for Crockett. She'll go out, more will come in. And Taurasi sitting down for the first time tonight. Connecticut getting a very competitive game here from the Auburn Tigers. It's 40-34 UConn. Last 10 years, UConn has won their second round game by an average of 33 points. Certainly doesn't look like that'll be the case here tonight, and it speaks to, again, the improving quality and depth and parity that is starting to evolve year by year in women's basketball. And Amagi off the back of the backboard, so it'll be turned over to UConn. Amagi was looking for the foul.
Definitely some contact. Joe Ciampi not protesting too much. She could have backed that dribble out, could have reset Dan and gotten a better look, though.
We have not had many fouls at all here in the first half. Just 4 committed by Auburn, and just 1 committed the entire half by Connecticut.
Well, you haven't noticed the officials, and that's always a good sign.
Moore inside on the feed from Turner. Great high-low.
Good look. And Jess Moore, she's just become such a target, has learned to post with a low, wide base, give the good target hand.
Final minute of the first half. Great atmosphere and enthusiasm here in Bridgeport tonight for these Connecticut Huskies. Loudon trying to look inside. Willingham, a tough catch, and she is fouled. Boy, she is doing some work down low.
Well, we talked about Barbara Turner's abilities off the dribble. This time, just the high-low, good pass. And just a different look. You see what Jess has got in front of her. Nothing. Once she gets that defender sealed high, it becomes an easy look.
Willingham, a good free throw shooter, and among SEC league leaders in scoring, rebounding, and field goal percentage, as Natasha Brackett checks back into the game now for Auburn. And a big first half for Willingham.
Yeah, I physically, you look at the wide body. She's only 6 feet as Gino gets a timeout here, but she's very efficient at getting defenders on her back and sealing and going.
So the free throws for Willingham, bringing Auburn back within 6. On Saturday, they held, all the teams held open practices here in Bridgeport, and almost 5,000 people packed the arena at Harbor Yard to get an up-close look at their Connecticut Huskies, even surprising Diana Taurasi. Is there a game today? She said facetiously as she came in. But that's the kind of following that they have. I don't know if there's any team in the country that could really, that has the following and also the scrutiny that comes with it that this Connecticut basketball team does, because the entire state rallies around them.
Well, no professional sports franchise, so they are the show. And Diana Taurasi talked a little bit about playing, what it's like playing here at Connecticut.
It really is a fistful. You know, it takes some used to. I mean, you have to get used to it. You know, you used to, you know, being from Southern California where no one knows who anyone is unless you're Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. So you can be the best basketball player in the world and they don't know who you are. You know, it's Hollywood. Now here we are Hollywood to them. They love us. They know everyone's stats, birthdays, majors. They know every little thing about us. And like today, it's open practice. You would expect, you know, a couple, 20, 30 people. You get, you know, 4,000 people out there that are cheering and, you know, into practice. And that makes you feel good. You know, you feel appreciated for every little thing you do.
Connecticut does not get a shot off at the end of the half, and Joe Champy says that was a shot clock violation. The clock should have stopped, and Auburn should get the ball back. I got to agree with him, but it doesn't look like he's going to win the argument. He's upset, and rightly so. A 6-point lead for Connecticut at the end of the first half. They're getting a battle from Auburn as we send it back for the singular halftime report. Here's Reese Davis.
Come on, Dan. You know Joe's not going to get that call in the Nutmeg State. Come on. Glad to have you with us on the singular halftime report. Reese Davis, Nell Fortner, and Stacey Dale Shulman here. Got a tight game. We expected that. Auburn, a tenacious bunch. What's impressed you in the first half?
Well, for Auburn offensively, they really like to go inside, but I love the way that UConn has deterred that. They've really forced them to take the outside shots. Now, fortunately, Auburn's hitting those outside shots now.
Well, I tell you what, but don't look for Auburn to get out of their matchup zone either. UConn is shooting the ball really well from the 3, but Joe Champy will stay with that matchup zone. He just thinks he's going to wear you out. Eventually, you're going to quit hitting shots, and we're going to hang around and get you in the end. It'll be interesting to see how this turns out.
There are not many coaches that'll sit back in that zone when somebody hits 8 out of 10 from behind the arc against them. That is what UConn did in the first half against that Auburn zone, and as a result, the Huskies are up by 6 at the break.
In Bridgeport, Connecticut, second round action out of the East Region. I'm Dan Shulman along with Doris Burke, and we have ourselves a very competitive basketball game. The Connecticut Huskies, maybe the 2-time defending champs, but they're getting a great battle from Auburn. And if it wasn't for the unbelievable shooting from UConn, they might be losing this game right now.
Both teams shot a very high percentage, but UConn incredible from beyond the 3-point arc. They were outstanding. 64% overall, 8 for 11. Ball movement was the key. They got lots of ball movement, lots of player movement. It led to very good offense outside of the turnovers, which I thought hurt them at points. They had 8 in the first half. But you get it from a lot of different people. Conlon can drain the 3, Taurasi can drain the 3, and then the run out here by Ashley Battle.
So Connecticut goes to the second half up only 6. Diana Taurasi, the Player of the Year, the Naismith Player of the Year, is announced today. Second year in a row that she wins that award. She's got 3 threes, but she misses her first shot of the second half. Auburn was out-rebounded, outshot, but as Doris mentioned, the Connecticut turnovers really helped the Tigers in the first half. Now when Auburn missed, and the rebound for Strother. The winner tonight advances to play UC Santa Barbara in Hartford in the regionals next weekend. A 3 for Maria Conlon. She has 9, and Connecticut is now 9 for 13 from three-point range.
Post player gets the ball on the block like that. She should look opposite as she did there.
Loudon might have gotten away with steps right there. Misses the shot. Rebound Stevenson. Couple of opportunities there for the Tigers. Conlon whips a pass inside. Moore, the lefty. Jump hook is good.
She posted so strong. She got so low and so wide. She made such a good target. You've got to reward your post players when they work that hard, Dan.
So a quick 5-0 run, Doris, for Connecticut to open the second half after the first half ended with Auburn having most of the momentum. Now a blocked shot by Turner. And now a steal by Turner. Again, the ball movement around the perimeter. Turner. And the rebound for Brackett.
Well, if Barbara Turner becomes consistent from the three-point territory, she's going to be a tough check.
A steal by Moore. Now she's running the floor. Taurasi looking for her. Great start here in the second half for UConn. Again, good position for Moore inside. Strother from the corner. Taurasi keeps it alive, but it'll be Auburn's ball.
Good looks, though. I don't think you can fault any of those shots.
The Tigers yet to score here in the second half. Connecticut is up the lead from 6 at the break to 11 now.
Now, UConn did not prove they could check Willingham in the post. She was outstanding at 13 points. So let's get her a touch early.
Looking for her. Off her fingertips, out of bounds. Now look at our first half stats here tonight. Again, shooting is the big story in this game, especially for Connecticut. Remarkable shooting numbers against one of the better defensive teams in the country.
And Auburn would like to have had that pass a little bit sooner. They were inside of 10 that last possession when they tried to go to Willingham. Get her established earlier.
Turner trying to take Willingham off the dribble. Conlon cannot use the screen to get the shot off. Shot clock inside 10. Again, they reverse the ball. Turner inside. And Auburn will bring it back up the floor. Loudon, who's got a bit of a cheering section up behind the Auburn bench, being from New Jersey, hollering out instructions.
Wow, it's going to be an offensive foul, I believe, on Willingham.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, one of the buzzwords, Dan, in women's college basketball, one of their focal points is displacement. And as Le'Coe went down the lane line, she looked like the forearm was up and maybe knocked Barbara Turner off a little bit.
Just her first. Nobody's in foul trouble for either team. Strother again. Moore, as we like to say, doing her work early. She's establishing great position before the ball even gets to her. Nice feed from Strother into the post. Auburn still scoreless here in the second half.
Getting to the crucial possession stage here if you're Auburn. Got to answer.
Brackett long on the 3. Taurasi for 3.
Let's give Jess Moore some credit for that. She's not going to get an assist, but she sets a solid screen, and Joe uses one wisely.
A 10-0 run for Connecticut to begin the second half as we send it back to Reese in the studio.
Okay, Dan, an unnerving situation. Austin and Michigan.
Well, the UConn Huskies came out a little bit angry, it looks like, in the second half, and they've outscored Auburn 10-0 so far this half to up the lead to 16 in this second round game out of the East region. Nicole Loudon, boy, tough for her at her size to get a clean look over these UConn defenders. Now Brackett inside is fouled. The crowd unhappy with that. And Strother gets called for the foul. It'll be her first.
A poor shot by Loudon, bailed out by the aggressive play of Brackett. And Brackett took an earful from associate head coach Joni O'Brien as she went to the bench. And looks like she's come out a little bit motivated out of the timeout.
Now Brackett was the MVP in last year's postseason NIT, won by Auburn, as her mom looks on from the crowd. A lot of folks have made a long drive up from Alabama to see this game up here in Bridgeport. Brackett also had 26 points against North Carolina State on Sunday. She's got only 5 so far. Make it 6 so far here tonight. We've got another timeout on the floor. Auburn's first point of the second half.
Dave, on the subject of beatdowns, UConn's giving one to Auburn in the East, and Strother's going to hit the J. Meanwhile, Auburn couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. 0 for 15 in the second. They've played 13 minutes with no field goals so far. You in just a little bit. Auburn and Connecticut just about to go final in Bridgeport. The Huskies are going to advance to the Sweet 16 for the 11th straight year. This is a team that allowed Boston College to shoot 63% against them just 2 games ago, and they stifled Auburn in the second half, held them without a field goal for in excess of 15 minutes.
Well, you figured that Gino Auriemma would have the team in check as the NCAA tournament approached, and certainly I think that's the case, Reese. Everybody's played, everybody's had substantial minutes. Diana Taurasi showed us why she's the Naismith Player of the Year. And it's really a team, I think, that's just been motivated by hunger. Nell commented on that earlier in the week. This is a hungry club. They want to prove people wrong, and they feel like they have all the capability to do so.
Final few seconds now. Dan Shulman and Doris Burke have the call for us.
And Natasha Brown drives the distance for Auburn. So they scored a little bit here in the last few minutes after failing to do so, failing to have a field goal for 16 minutes in the second half. Nice way to celebrate your birthday if you're Gino Auriemma, who turns 50 today, and for the 11th consecutive year will lead his Huskies into the Sweet 16. The dream for a 3rd consecutive national championship is still alive, and the Huskies will go to Hartford to the Civic Center to play UC Santa Barbara next weekend, with Penn State and Notre Dame also still alive in the East region. Connecticut 79, Auburn 53. Sports Center is next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Doris and our crew, I'm Dan Shulman. Thanks for watching from Bridgeport tonight. Now back to the studio and Reese Davis.
First 20 minutes looked as if Auburn was going to be able to give UConn all it wanted all night. Second 20 minutes, much different story. UConn in Hartford against UC Santa Barbara. The 11th seed coming out from their home floor face UConn on the 27th.